Guys, welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. Today we're going to look at the Walkera Rodeo 110 and I'm going to give you an honest review and opinion on this quadcopter because there's a lot of hype surrounding this quad and a lot of people are looking to get this one. I'm going to tell you about my experience with it this week. I've had it for about a week now and I was super excited, super jazzed. The whole channel voted on my channel to see this one for the next review. And I went out to fly it yesterday for the first time after having it for some time. I checked it out, set it out in clean flight, and everything looked good. The Devo 7 here is awesome, an awesome radio that you get with it. It has tons of options. You can also bind up other models to it and use other models on this one, so this is a great option. That controller right there is going to be more than great for this setup. Ready to fly, guys. If you're looking for something that's ready to go, this is a nice package for that. And we're going to talk about the great and not so great aspects of this little quadcopter. I'm just going to point the camera down at the quad here on the bench, and right away I love the profile of this one. I like the way it looks. 2S battery. I don't know if it's flyable on 3S because I did not try it. I did not want to risk frying the power system. If there's another reviewer out there that hooked up a 3S battery to it, let us know in the comments below if this can be flown off 3S. It does have a USB port here on the side, and it does have clean flight on there. It actually has September 2016 version of clean flight. Now my camera from the factory was not focused from the factory, and it seemed like no matter how much I played around with this camera to try to get it to focus outdoors and indoors, I could not get it to have a full focus. Now I don't know if that's the camera that I got on mine, maybe it has a defect, but it always seemed to be a little bit blurry. So you think it would be a little bit better. Now it does say that the camera is a 600 TVL camera on there and it's PAL or NTSC. And it says it's HD resolution, but I feel like the camera is a little bit lacking. But the ESCs on here, let's talk about the ESCs. They are kind of heat shrinked here, and they're kind of mounted through the end of the bottom of the unibody frame on the bottom here. And I'm not sure that that's the greatest thing for this design. Now, mainly because it's going to give a problem with structural integrity. If you go in to crash this, and there's a hole on the very end right here, and it's also really thin right here, that is not a good option to have holes through the very end where this heavy motor is sitting. Now, this is a pretty lightweight quad at like 99 grams, but that's going to cause problems if you crash really hard. This is enough weight on top of here to break this bottom plate, and there's not any more reinforcement on the bottom here to help this carbon frame out. So if you go in, this carbon frame is going to take the full force of a crash. Now it does have some other options on here on the bottom. This is kind of cool. On the very bottom here, it has a little tiny port for switching between PPM and S-Bus, as you can see here, and you have an external RX port, which that is also pretty cool. So you can add another receiver on there. If you didn't want to fly the Devo 7, you wanted to fly it on your Spectrum transmitter or your FR Sky receiver for your Tyrannus Plus, you can do that as well. Now, some other physical assets that are awesome about this camera guard right here seems to hold up pretty well out in the field. I had a couple tumbles. Motor guards are great. They do work pretty decent. Now, what I was excited about the most about this quad probably was the fact that Walkera did not make it a proprietary battery. They just did this JST right here. So you can put other batteries besides Walkera batteries on there. And this is a 2S. This is an 850 milliamp. I fly a lot of these on the smaller ones. So this is a great performing battery. The props were very durable out in the field in my flight tests, and I actually bent one and it bent back, kind of like a dowel prop. So these props are actually pretty decent, and you get 2 sets of those in the box. Now the flight time on this one, I think I was getting around 3 minutes flight time on the battery. The website, it says it gets around 6 minutes. Maybe I fly a little harder than other people, but I was getting probably 2 to 3 minutes off of the battery time. So you might want to buy quite a few batteries just to have fun with this one. But I like the small size. They do also say that it's flyable indoors. I think if you were inside a gymnasium maybe, but I don't know about flying it inside your house. It's a little large for flying inside the house, and if you flip into acro, it's going to fly into the wall probably because it's super fast in acro, unless you're a very proficient pilot. You do have your receiver tucked down inside here, and you have these two antennas coming up off the back. Somebody was asking me what these were. These are just antennas, your control signal, and then you have your battery port back here for the JST. Now I'll go ahead and take this battery off for you and show you what it looks like, the carbon frame. I mean, this is a nice looking quad. It's very well designed. It does hide this channel switch, VTX switch here. Now this transmitter is also, it says it's switchable between 25 milliwatt and 600 milliwatt, so that's pretty cool. You're going to get a longer distance on 600 milliwatt. If you're flying by yourself, you can fly it on that. You have 40 channels on here as well, so plenty of channels to switch around from. I was using it on my LaForge goggles, and it did pretty well. No problem with image transmission to my goggles. So if you're thinking about grabbing one of these, I would grab one, but I would fly it with caution because I'm going to get into the bad side of this frame now, and we're going to talk about what I don't like about it now that I've told you about some of the good stuff about it. Clean flight, lightweight, low profile. Flies great. It does fly great. I think that the carbon frame on the bottom needs maybe some kind of plastic reinforcement over it, like we see with the Vortex 150. It has some plastic bumpers here to guard the arms a little more in a crash. I think that this area right here is a weak point in this design, and I'll tell you why right now. I was flying mine, and as you can see here on the video, all of a sudden it just dropped out of the air. And why it dropped out of the air, I don't understand, but I had a signal loss. It went into failsafe and it dropped right down to the ground, and it actually hit the sidewalk. Now it landed right on the sidewalk, which is concrete, so I'm not expecting this to hold up when it hits concrete. Just about any quad is going to have major damage if it hits concrete. I've had 250 size frames break. They are a lot heavier, but I expected a little more out of this design. I was kind of unhappy that the fact that it did like just fall out of the air mid-flight, because I had plenty of battery life left. I wasn't in the voltage protection range where it just, you know, immediately cut the quad because of low voltage protection. And I can show you on the bottom of the quad here, my frame broke right here where I was telling you guys that that would be a problem for this design. You can see it broke right here. So now my quad, as you can see in the second flight, is wobbling like crazy, and now I have to put a whole new frame, whole new unibody on the bottom of this quad. Kind of disappointing. It also broke back here. Get this camera to focus here real quick for you. It also broke right there, right along that screw point, and that is not a good design to have your ESC mounted through there, because honestly all we could have done is just taken a little bit of heat shrink and put around this, or we could take a little bit of electrical tape and put around that to secure that. There's no need to have this bolted through the frame. It just creates a fracture point and a stress point for this frame. So you know, take in consideration it did hit the pavement, but I was expecting a little more out of this frame, because honestly I was really excited about the Rodeo 110. So Walkera or GearBest, if you guys would like to send me a new bottom plate for this, I would love to continue flying this quad because I do like it a lot, but I'm not super happy about this. This is not cool right here. So, and now it's not flyable at all, because as you can see in that other flight test, the video is super full of jello. Props are good, video transmission decent, but my camera also just doesn't want to really focus. So that's it for this review, and it's kind of a bummer, but hopefully if you guys get one, you have a better experience than I did. You don't have any signal loss coming from the transmitter, and yours continues to fly, because I do think it's an awesome quad. It just only lasted one flight for me. So what can I do? I'm kind of bummed, but tell you the truth on this channel, the honest truth and nothing but the truth, you guys. I really appreciate you watching this review, and if you get one of these, keep it away from the concrete. I'm Justin Davis, and I will see you guys on the next one.